Hello and welcome to ET Inside, where we get you a 360-degree view of the big picture in business and economy. I'm Sridhar Ramakrishnan. On the show today, as car makers swarm India with their latest models, the hatchback is all the rage. How strict emission norms like Bharat Stage 4 and 5 are changing things around in the auto industry. And whatever happened to the hybrid cars that were supposed to bowl over Indian consumers. A top story first. Hatchbacks have always been a favorite in India. In fact, the first car that made motoring affordable to the masses was a hatchback, the Maruti 800. The Alto, the Indica and the Santro that follow were also hatchbacks. In fact, some of the best-selling cars today from Volkswagen, Ford or Hyundai are also, you guessed it, hatchbacks. So what makes hatchbacks so popular with the Indian car buyer? Prem Shankar finds out.
They are the hottest wheels in the country. The hatchbacks have been grooming their way into the big money for a few years in India. The race is so intense that foreign luxury car makers too have jumped in headlong. So what you have is traditional sedan makers rolling out hatchbacks like the Fiat Punto, the Nissan Micra, the Ford Figo and the Volkswagen Polo. Why hatchbacks?
We want to be one of the volume players as well into this market, and our positioning of Polo is primarily into a segment which is showing the maximum growth within the hatchback segment. And the success for the last 5 months for this Polo had been tremendous. The acceptance by the customers has been huge, and we are getting lots of orders and lots of bookings to support our view that the Polo has been acceptable into the market.
Sales of Indian hatchbacks tell the tale better than the best expert can.
It's a convenient size. I think for all that I require it for, it's a very comfortable size and it's a good price. So that's the reason I own a hatchback.
The larger cars typically go out of budget to a certain extent, with more above 5 lakhs. So you want to look at a car within the 4.5 lakh bracket. So that's the basic idea.
I think it's super comfortable because when I'm driving, I actually know the size of the car, so I really don't have to worry where it ends.
I wanted to get something which is not very high-end, but not again a very small vehicle, value for money, and something different, not the usual cars which you find on the road.
The Indian car market has grown 37% year-on-year to 2.2 lakh units in July. Industry body SIAM predicts that the full year growth could touch 12 to 13%, with hatchbacks contributing a chunk of it. Take the country's largest car maker for instance. Maruti has clocked its best sales figures ever in the month of July this year. Sales surged 33% to 90,114 units, and the major contributor to this number are the hatchbacks Alto, WagonR, Estilo, Ritz, Swift and the A-Star. Consumers bought 33% more hatchbacks in July, bringing it to a total of 64,079 cars. So is the heart of the hatchback business right here back home? Well, the industry seems to think so.
It's very important that all innovation has to come from homegrown solutions, such as one of the examples has been the small car, which is the most eagerly awaited car that we saw last year.
The country's second largest car maker, the South Korean Hyundai, rolled out its first car Santro in 1998. In just 6 months, the auto giant had raced to the second slot amongst car manufacturers with a 19% market share for its compact hatchback Santro, i10 and i20. Hyundai's India sales grew 24% to 28,811 units in July, and the South Koreans are confident of seeing 17% growth in sales this year.
See, there are two things. One, of course, the customers have become much younger today. That's definitely there. And secondly, even the rural markets, upcountry markets are contributing significantly in the smaller cars. I think with better road connectivity, better, I think, general optimism in the market, and that changing profile in the upcountry markets. So that's another reason why the volumes are growing so significantly today, and particularly for smaller cars.
The Indian consumer has come a long way since the humble ambassador, and the country is spoiled for choice. And for a people that are conscious of saving and wary of spending on luxury goods like large cars, the hatchbacks have provided the perfect alternative to keep status and the wallet intact. The 1980s paved the way for foreign car makers to drive into India. The 1990s proved to be the melting point for the industry. The boom began then, and with many trials and errors, the car industry learned that Indians like their toys small, compact, utilitarian, and able to bear the brunt of the Indian roads.
These cars are compact in their physical dimension, but they are large where the cabin space is concerned. So naturally, when you see this segment and you got about 9 or 10 manufacturers already with their wares there, this has got the largest growth potential in the country, and there are 2 more manufacturers which will further come in by the end of this year with their own wares. So it is really one of the key drivers of the automobile industry right now.
A booming economy steaming ahead at 8.5% per annum has meant that there is more money in the pockets of the 20-somethings. Industry pundits say that the average age of a buyer has gone down from 38 to 32 years, and the fastest growth in buyers is in the age group of 25 and 30 years. And it was this segment that beat the recession and continued buying cars when the rest of the world cut back on spending.
You see younger and younger people affording a vehicle. So used to be that when a person starts working, it may take 7, 8, 10 years before one can think of buying a car. Now it's much faster. So within first or second year, a person goes out, gets a good loan based on a good down payment he can do and buy a car. And therefore the overall age group is coming down. And clearly the first buy almost always happens to be hatchback.
And hence the numbers. Tata Motors' beacon has been the Nano, helping the car maker achieve a 6% in passenger vehicle sales at 27,864 units. The Nano itself sold 9,000 units. Nissan's newly launched compact car Micra propelled the bulk of its sales. 928 of the 1,005 units sold in July this year was of the Micra. The Figo has been the key growth driver for Ford India. The car maker's sales saw a 4-fold increase at 8,739 cars against 2,146 units in July last year.
I think what you have to be able to do is go across the range. So you've got very small vehicles in this segment and larger vehicles. Great thing about Figo, it cross-hatches. It goes across a number of vehicles. So those people that are looking in the smaller size are also looking in the larger size, and they look at Figo somewhere in the middle, and they get great value for money for a larger size vehicle. And that's where I think has been a key for Figo's success, along with that killer price point.
As India's middle class increases the pace of its upward mobility, many auto companies are upgrading the hatchbacks to economical sedans. Case in point is Tata Indigo Manza, the sedan version of the Tata Indica hatchback. The Indigo has been the second hotcake for Tata Motors after the Nano, selling 7,007 units. And the price of the Indigo is only a fraction more than the hatchbacks from other stables. Priced at between 4.8 lakh rupees and 6.75 lakh, the Manza is a bigger car than the Altos and the i10s and costs only $1 lakh or so more than its hatchback peers.
We're delighted how Mazda is already received in the marketplace, and Vista also should be doing clearly better than what it's doing at the moment. So there's a lot of efforts going on. Having said that, the earlier generation Indica and Indigo also has a lot of customer preference in certain markets. So we are looking at this market possibility is quite exciting.
Similar experiments have been made by most hatchback manufacturers like the Maruti Dzire, Hyundai Accent GLE and Verna, the Ford Fiesta and the Icon, all selling like hotcakes, each of them priced around 6 lakh rupees.
Due to the fact that the Indian market is very cost sensitive, it is in our opinion very important that everything is developed towards the local needs and towards the local demand. Of course there are the large platform ideas globally, but they should be especially tailored towards it. And so therefore focusing on very local approach in that one, this is the one which is helping increasing the competitiveness.
The urban trend at least is for more expensive luxury hatchbacks like the Volkswagen Polo and the Skoda Fabia. As India's young earners are spending more on cars, economy is taking a backseat and luxury is becoming more important. But for now, if you go with the existing trend, cheap hatchbacks are here to stay.
Well, the question then is, under what conditions will this phenomenon of hatchback mania survive? Well, that story is coming up after the short break. Don't go away.
We are very happy that the government is moving to Bharat Stage 4. Our products are already on road with Bharat Stage 4. And as
of now, there is a roadmap to move to stage 5 and further, and we hope that can be even advanced further.
We believe we have very effective costs, very effective management of investments, which have allowed us to introduce most of the BS4 models at the least cost compared to our competitors.
It is the inability of the authorities, the government, the PSU, oil majors, who have not been able to supply the right fuel to get the most benefits out of this technology which the industry has already got at its disposal.